Welcome to Manifesting Through Motherhood. I'm your host, Lindsay Williams, a self-development mentor, entrepreneur and author, dedicated to helping busy mums like you manifest success, balance and create passive income on your terms. With years of experience in mindset, manifestation, fitness, parenting and business growth, I share simple yet powerful strategies to help you transform your life without the overwhelm. If you're ready to up-level your mindset, build a thriving business and create the life you truly deserve, you're in the right place. You can also find all my books on Amazon, packed with tools to help you manifest and grow. So don't forget to follow the podcast to be updated on all new episodes. And let's get going. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. How is everybody doing? Before I start, I just want to shout out to a lovely friend of mine. She's a podcast host, Linda from Grey Roots and Chicken Boots. She's just finished her season and she gave me a lovely shout out on the podcast and it was so lovely. And I was pegging the washing out listening. I was like, oh, she mentioned me. It's so nice. And the great thing about podcasting, I've met some incredible human beings. Linda is over in Canada, but we get on so well. I'm sure if we was close neighbours, we would see a lot of each other. She'd probably get me on her e-bike and do lots of walking. It's just such a shame she's so far away. But it was a lovely shout out. Thank you, Linda. She's been doing some incredible things at the minute and she's busy and we're all busy, aren't we? We're all doing different things and I find so much inspiration from her podcast like she does mine. I think her podcast very heartfelt, warming, very down to earth, very just, it feels like home. There's something about it. She feels like home. I think that's the nice thing when you listen to a podcast. Like my podcast, it's like real, it's me, you meet me, I will just be the same. Like I will be bubbly and that's the thing, when you meet people, and sometimes you can have that opposite effect, can't you? In person, like say you go networking and you see people online. I've had this so much with other people and they said when I've actually met them at these events, they're not the nicest people, they're just more like fake it till you make it. And it's just life. That's one of those things and we just establish that, don't we, when we do like meet people and we're grown adults and we can make our own assumptions. And I think within like 30 seconds we can make our own minds up, can't we, on the people we want to spend time with and have in our circle. But today I want to cover something a little bit different. I mean, I'm with a lot of women and we talk about ADHD a lot and how busy we are. And if you're a manifesting generator and you're listening to this podcast, you probably have a lot of tabs open. Or is our brain just busy? Have you ever found yourself wondering, why can't I switch off? This is me. Why am I thinking about 10 things at once? Why do I walk into a room and forget why I'm there? Why do I start one job, see another job, then end up doing something completely different? We all know that one. And why does my brain seem to work differently from everybody else's? That is mine. If you've ever asked yourself those questions, you're definitely not alone. And lately, I've been asking myself the same thing. Today, I wanted to have a conversation about ADHD, busy brains, overthinking, and how this all links to manifestation. Not from a medical point of view, not a diagnosis, just as a woman trying to understand herself a little bit better. So let's look at the busy brain club. I think we're all in that one. If you're a manifester, you're definitely in this club. I've always been someone with a million ideas. I can be talking about one thing, thinking about another thing, planning next week, remembering something from 10 years ago, and wondering what we're all having for tea at the same time. Sound familiar? For years, I thought this was normal. I thought everyone was juggling that much mental noise, that bandwidth that we all just accumulate. But the more conversations that I've had recently, the more I've realised that some people's brains seem so much quieter. And honestly, I'm not sure what that feels like. Is it ADHD or is it life? And this is where it gets interesting because many women don't realise ADHD can look different from the stereotype. It's not always bouncing off the walls. Sometimes it's overthinking, people pleasing, feeling overwhelmed, starting lots of projects, struggling to switch off, feeling mentally exhausted, being highly emotional, and having hundreds of tabs open in your brain at once. And especially if you're perimenopausal, it seems to be more heightened. Many women reach the 40s before we even consider ADHD, because they've spent years coping, masking, and just getting on with it. And that's what I've been doing. And the problem with constant thinking is the issue isn't what we think. The issue is that we never stop. Our brains become so busy looking for problems that we forget to enjoy the present moment. We're worrying about next week, and my husband tells me off for this all the time. Planning Christmas, thinking about work, the kids, thinking about money, thinking about what somebody said 3 days ago. Meanwhile, life is happening right in front of us. So you're probably asking, what's this got to do with manifesting? This is when the manifestation comes in, because manifestation isn't about controlling every outcome. It's about energy. It's about trust. It's about allowing. And that's the hard part when your brain wants to analyse everything. And many of us are trying to manifest with one foot on the accelerator and one foot on the brake. We say, I trust the universe, then spend the next 6 hours worrying. We say, I know it's coming, then keep checking for evidence every 5 minutes. We ask for something, then we immediately doubt it. And that's not because we're doing manifestation wrong. It's because our nervous system doesn't always allow us to feel safe enough to let go. And why do we need to know everything? One thing I've noticed about myself is how much I like certainty. I want answers. I want to know what's happening. I want to know when will things happen. I want reassurance. But manifestation asks us to sit in uncertainty, to trust before we see proof. And that's where so many of us struggle. Not because we don't believe, but because we want guarantees. So what helps me? When my brain feels busy, these are the things that help. Going on my treadmill, listening to a podcast or some music, getting outside, having some time off social media, put my phone on Do Not Disturb, writing things down, what I think about planning and journaling. Focusing on what actually is happening rather than what might happen. And this is really hard for me. And I'm more aware about this at the minute to try and be more present rather than overthinking. And one question I keep coming back to is this a real problem right now? Or is this just a future problem that my brain has invented? The question has saved me from countless spirals. Maybe the goal isn't to fix yourself. Maybe the goal isn't to become someone different. Maybe the goal is simply understanding yourself better. Because whether you've got ADHD or not, being aware of how your brain works is powerful. When you understand your patterns, you stop fighting yourself. You stop judging yourself. You stop wondering why you're different. And you start working with yourself instead. Whether you have ADHD, a busy mind, anxiety, or simply carrying a lot on your shoulders, I want you to remember this. You don't have to think every thought. You don't have to solve every problem. You don't have to know all the answers. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop chasing certainty and start trusting yourself. Because manifestation isn't about becoming someone else. It's about believing you're already capable of handling whatever comes next. And maybe that's the real magic. So I want to ask you one question. Have you ever wondered if you have ADHD, or do you just have one of those brains that never switches off? We all have those plates spinning. I think because now we talk to a lot of women and we understand ADHD more, we start to question ourselves. And when people start to ask you, have you got ADHD? I've spoke about it in counselling sessions, and I think things can bring it out of you, because when you do self-development work, you do become more self-aware. You do look at the world differently, and you do compare yourself to the other person. When I compare myself to my husband, there's just no comparison. the way he lives for today, and obviously thinks about the future, very organised, but he's not an overthinker, and he cannot understand the way I think. And he has to remind me all the time. But I do say to him, you've got to remember, my style is so different to you. I trust in the universe. I believe what's coming is the right thing that's coming. And he kind of does do on the same level. But he's very matter of fact, life maps out for you, and be positive, be kind, and good things will happen. I do try and talk to him a lot about manifestation, but his approach is different because he's older as well, and I think men can be a lot different when you talk about manifestation. They might see it as like a woo-woo or airy-fairy, that's what people say. And you don't want to come across as that. And I say to him, he knows that I'm not an airy-fairy person, but he knows that I love manifesting, and I've kind of I feel like I've dragged him into my world of manifesting and self-development, but he's he's reaped the rewards, he's seen everything that I've done. But it is, I said to him, do you get what the word manifesting is? And he's like, yeah, to have the ability to bring things through what you want, your goals. So he knows and he understands because he secretly manifests, and he doesn't realise that he's doing it on a daily basis, but he is more methodical, he's more matter of fact. But I love this world of manifesting. I said to him, you love it, it's all pink, it's all great, you love your networking, you love your business stuff. He's like, I'll never stop you doing what you want to do. I said, you know what, this has got me through so much manifesting, because I look at different aspects of manifesting. Like if I'm having a rough week, I'll maybe do some more journaling, and I'll do, if I'm feeling overwhelmed with work, I'll do some more time blocking. Then we can look at outsourcing. Then we can look at setting some new goals, go back to the beginning. Let's think actually what's not working at the minute and what is working. So, if you've got ADHD and you're struggling, and I know what a lot of women that I speak to is, are constantly thinking about different things, and it can be quite debilitating because we're constantly looking at a new business idea. We could have set up a business, did everything we need to do, can be really happy. Our dopamine would have we've had the fix from the dopamine, and then we're like, what's next? And we're like, and my husband's like, what do you mean what's next? And I'm like, well, what can I do now? What can I do next? And he's like, we'll do nothing, just relax for 6 months. And I'm like, I can't do that. I need to do another book. I need to do that. And he's made me just slow down a little bit, tried to just have a breather. And he's having better boundaries with yourself, because we can get carried away. And if you're with a lot of women that have, people with ADHD, you just egg each other on more, don't you? You're like, oh, what are you doing this and what are you doing that? And we're all trying to achieve these huge goals, but sometimes we can fall into this trap, aren't we? Where we're just exhausted with also doing it because we want to manifest, we want to set these goals, we're waiting for that. I said last week, I'd manifested on this raffle, and I was thinking, what have I manifested lately? Mine's continuity, mine's just having that beautiful flow in life. And I thought, I want this, and I spoke to my friend Jenny, and I was like, I want this tulips little pot vase thing, and I was like, I'm just saying to the universe, it's mine. And I just laughed because I knew what was coming. I knew that Jess was going to grab it and say, and my friend messaged me, she went, I can't believe you manifested that. What are the chances of all the things in a house? That's what I wanted. I asked the universe for it. And do you know what? It was just something so simple that I wanted to manifest, because I love tulips. I love buying tulip flowers. But we can manifest anything we want. It's just focusing on it and thinking how we want to get it and how we're going to get to it. And I think it's exciting when you're manifesting something, because you kind of you're waiting for something to happen, and you're looking for those signs. It kind of keeps you on your toes a bit. And if you've got ADHD, just remember, manifesting can sometimes feel a little bit different. Our brains are full of ideas, dreams and possibilities, and we're constantly chasing the next thing. The excitement is amazing, but it can also be exhausting if we're always searching for what's next instead of appreciating where we are. Manifesting isn't about doing more, it's about becoming more present, trusting yourself, and making constant action, even if it's just small. Your ADHD isn't stopping you from creating an incredible life. It just means you might need to work with your brain instead of against it. So you can dream big, you can keep believing in yourself, but don't forget to celebrate how far you've come already. Sometimes the life you're manifesting It's already starting to unfold. And you just need to slow down enough to notice it. So thanks for listening today. I thought I'd do a little quick one today. And if you like the podcast, please share it with other busy moms and manifestors or business women. We've got some guys that listen to the podcast. I don't know how many guys. I know we've got one or two. I know Stephen, my friend, listens to the podcast and catches up, has a bit of a binge, don't you, Stephen? But yeah, and it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a parent. You don't have to be a busy mom. But that is me. I'm a busy mom. And I do manifest through motherhood because I'm constantly doing like SEN and, life and business and 100,000,001 things at once. And, we're all going through stuff, aren't we? Like every day we go through different things and we get through our things. And then like what's next? And something else crops up in our life. We have to deal with that rubbish and it's back and forth. But we're ready because this podcast is to help you equip yourself with everything you can go back and listen to that I've talked about in the past. Because we can remember things, can't we? And think, I never thought about that. And I'm going to probably go listen to some of my old episodes and think, you forget things, don't you? And you think, I've not really implemented that for a while. I could do to think about that. And yeah, and if you've not bought my book, Manifesting Through Motherhood, I will put the link in the show notes, but it is all over social media. Google, just type it in. It is on Kindle. I've got some more planners and journals on there. And yeah, just share the podcast, rate and review. That would be great. And yeah, let me know. I mean, I see like all over the world, different countries that are listening. So please don't feel like you can't reach out. Send me a message. Just if you do add me, send me a message because sometimes I'm like, who's that? If I know you're listening to my podcast, you're one of my listeners, that's fine. You come and follow me and what I'm doing and I'll follow you back. So yeah, anyway, I'll leave it there. I'm going to go out shopping and I'm going to look for a suitcase. So I've got a holiday coming up and I keep borrowing. My other suitcase is literally, this is ADHD. It's under the bed with clothes in it that are probably 3 sizes too big, which I need to dump. But it's one of those cases where you got to drag it, not like with 4 wheels. So I'm going to go and find a pink one or a leopard print one. My husband sent a few, he sent to me. So I'm going to go and pick my mum up soon. I'm going to go out. And then I'm like, we'll see what summer clothes is in there. So it's like we're going to Matalan to go and have a look round. Sometimes it's nice to have a little nosy, see what we can buy, but you end up buying clothes, don't you? I'll not come home with a suitcase, but I have seen one on Amazon, but I'm just waiting. So yeah, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent and that's what I do. So I will speak to you soon and have a great day, and yeah, I'll catch up with you in the week. Bye for now. If you're feeling called to go deeper, to align more, create more, and really step into that next version of you, you'll find everything you need in my linktree. From my book, Manifesting Through Motherhood, to powerful resources and ways we can work together. It's all there waiting for you. Come and find me on Instagram or Facebook. I love hearing what landed with you. Don't forget to follow the podcast, and if this episode spoke to you, please share it with someone who is on their own journey too. And happy manifesting.